Well, good morning, and it's time again for Break an Egg with Keith Hayes from the White Hart Hotel in Lewes, East Sussex. We are local, but not parochial. So much of what we'll talk about today in the next 3 hours will be of international and national concern, but it will all be material that will impact upon our small community. So we are talking to you here in Lewes. But by the same token, we're also talking to many people in the world who are interested in what's happening and our point of view. Well, that's it, really. That's what Mirador Television is all about. So what I think we'll do is, without more ado, we will go to the main newspaper headlines. And the first one is, the Metro. And the Metro, it says, "Run for your lives." And it's all about the fact that the fighting in Sudan has been exacerbated, that the paramilitaries are beating one another over the head, but they don't care who gets in the way in the meantime. So the first RAF planes are setting off for Sudan. The paper says the first plane load of Britons were evacuated after they had to dash unescorted through the streets of Khartoum. It observes the move was a rapid U-turn on advice a day earlier advising stranded UK nationals not to go outdoors. I'm afraid, really, the Foreign Office is not covering itself in glory. But, we have argued on this television station that governance in this country is in crisis because we have lightweights in charge of various ministries. We don't have people who are statespeople. We don't have people who seem to be able to make a decision and stick by it. And for that matter, we don't seem to have anybody who can make a decision and make a sensible decision about what on earth is happening. They've never had to face this sort of thing before, and now they are being tested, and they are not coming out very well. Not very well at all. UK troops ready to use force in the Khartoum airlift. But, it's getting a bit late. That's the problem. It's just getting a bit late as to when they do something and when they don't do something. And it's our troops, really. We still have the finest army in the world. And yet the politicians and the policymakers are not putting it to good use when it comes to trying to look after our people in Sudan. It's rather a pathetic situation, really. And the major press are making a meal of pointing out that these people are simply not up to snuff. That, in fact, the UK troops ready to use force in Khartoum airlift is why weren't they ready some time ago? Because we've all known that this is brewing up. But anyway, Sudan is a volatile part of the world, always has been. Well, if you recall, it's where General Gordon was taken on by the Mahdi, and the Mahdi won. The Eye says it understands British troops are prepared to use force if it proves necessary to protect the UK nationals they'll be evacuating. It reports 120 troops have been deployed in a bid to rescue 4,000 people. The Times, make your own way to Sudan airlift, Britain is told. The troops en route to Sudan are pictured on the Times front page. The paper says the Prime Minister said he could not guarantee that an airfield north of the Sudanese capital that is being used for the Cyprus-bound flights would remain open for much longer. The headline highlights that those hoping to get on one of the flights have been told to make their own way to the airfield. By gum, we're in trouble. The Daily Telegraph. Okay, we changed tack for the Telegraph because we go back to this silly nonsense about Harry and the mischief that he's causing. So the Daily Telegraph. Harry Court claims leave the coronation piece hopes in tatters. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are seen at a basketball game on the front page of the Daily Telegraph, and it reports that Prince Harry's court papers claiming that his brother Prince William was paid a huge sum by the owners of the Sun newspaper to settle his own historical phone hacking claims. The Telegraph says it understands it was about £1 million. The Sun's owners say, the Sun's owners say Prince Harry's claim for damages should be scrapped because he had run out of time, and they are applying to end his case. The Guardian. Charles undermined the Queen over plans to Murdoch, says Harry. Oh, Harry's had it again, right? Okay, is what he's saying this time. The Guardian says Prince Harry opted out that he claims Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth had herself threatened Rupert Murdoch's media firm with legal action, but was undermined by the then Prince Charles. So he's got some more dirty linen going. Oh, yes, they did. Oh, no, they didn't. I mean, it's not even the time of the year for pantomime, for God's sake. It's just getting silly. Biden asked for time to finish the job with a second term in the White House. Now, that's something that we have to look forward to. We really have to look very carefully at, I suppose, is Joe Biden, President of the United States, has made up his mind at long last after prevaricating for a while and said he will fight the election in 2024. The Financial Times notes the announcement ends months of speculation, and fires the starting gun on a campaign that could see a rematch of the 2020 clash with Donald Trump. So what have we got as candidates in the United States election? Well, just about as much as we have the last little while, really, is Joe Biden, an aging president who hasn't really covered himself with glory in his 4 years so far, against Donald Trump, who is facing a court action for criminal intent and taking some documents which he shouldn't have, fomenting a bit of a rabble and break-in of the government buildings. All in all, it's really. I mean, there are other people. There are DeSantis floating around in Florida. There is a Kennedy getting into the act if he can, and he's no spring chicken either. He's heading towards 60, I believe. And it is a mess. If we think we're in a mess, they're in a mess. Right, okay, the Daily Mail. You need to accept you're poorer. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I know I'm poor. So I'm not really having any problems with that. But once again, what we have to do is to be very careful about what we're talking about here, because it's the Bank of England's top economist, Hugh Peel, Hugh Pill, it's pronounced, but I think spelled, but I think it's pronounced Peel. Anyway, he's the Bank of England top economist, and he's said that there's a reluctance to accept that we're all worse off. And if they did not stop asking for more pay, prices will continue to rise. The Mail notes that Mr. Pill is paid £190,000 a year, and it says a top city figure suggests he should engage brain before opening mouth. The front page also features a bust of the king made from chocolate, with the Dalesque headline, "Charles from the Chocolate Factory." I think it is Charlie, isn't it? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Roald Dahl's story. Good morning, old man. How are you?
Yeah, not how was you?
Right now, is the Express takes a different tack. It decides that it'll go on the tax situation, and it says surely a tax cut boost is now on the cards, and is basically what it's saying is it reports the Chancellor Jeremy Hunt is being urged by Conservative MPs to cut tax as soon as possible, because people need help who are struggling with the cost of living. And it carries a quote from an ex-cabinet minister, John Redwood, who said, "Cut taxes now." The paper observes economists believe the Chancellor has plenty of wiggle room to cut the highest tax burden on record. Interesting that John Redwood is getting back into the act and making a public statement. John Redwood is a very dour character, but I just happen to know is a good friend of mine, was friend of the family, and he says that he would have made an excellent prime minister, except that he does not have the charisma, which apparently everybody has to have nowadays if you want to make your way in politics. And his background, everything about him was made him an excellent candidate, except this rather dour look. And his family eventually did say to him, "Look, John, I think you should give up the fight. You're not going to make it." And he listened to them and he stepped down. And I have a lot of time for the man. If I'm not mistaken, his wife, I'll be very careful here, if I'm not mistaken, his wife actually was the company secretary or certainly on the board of British Airways. They were high flyers, that's for sure. Right, the Mirror. Food banks heartbreak. Right, okay. Where are the old food banks? I know that we've got some pictures somewhere of a food bank, but where, heaven only knows. We go through this every morning. That's okay, chaps. Oh dear. Trying to find something here is like it's like walking through the maze at Hampton Court, trying hard to find various things. And I thought the food bank. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we do. We have the food bank. The food bank's heartbreak. A shocking scale of hunger in Britain is revealed as a Prem star shares his childhood struggles. Oh my God! Now we've got the footballers in, right? Food bank's heartbreak headlines the Daily Mirror. It says figures from the Trussell Trust charity reveal 1 million children needed emergency food parcels last year. It pictures Newcastle striker Callum Wilson who says he used food banks. I was that child once, he explains. The food bank system is civilized society should not have to have one. But nonetheless, if in fact we've got 1 million children, I doubt the figure, who are hungry, then let's feed them by all means. The trouble is that people keep on moving the statistics, so that today we can have 500,000 children, and tomorrow 1 million, because somebody just moves the decimal point. Dear. It's awful. Okay, let's. This one is the Star. The Star does not let us down. Oh dear. Here's what the Star is on about. It's Jaffa cake horror. So-called boffins claim orangey treat is best for tea dunking, but there is an argument about whether a Jaffa cake is a biscuit. Oh, horror upon horrors. Someone at the Daily Star was very put out by news that scientists have named Jaffa cakes as the best biscuit for dunking in tea, partly because the paper disputes whether the treat is even a biscuit to begin with. Not going over the top at all, the headline, Jaffa Cake Horror, is accompanied by a sub-headline that labels the news the sickest thing you'll read today, perhaps revealing their own favourite. The headline writer reveals that Hobnobs came a distinct 8th in the world's worst poll. The writer of the paper thought for the day joins in the fun with the plaintive plea, ginger nut anybody. So there you are. If you dip your biscuit into your tea or your coffee, and the best one for it is a Jaffa cake. We all have now got used to stuff closing down. Indeed, we have. But Lidl, the people's supermarket, as it were, Lidl is, according to the news out of Lewis or out of East Sussex, is to open supermarkets. How many? To open stores in a number of locations across Sussex. It has announced its desire to open more than 25 new stores this year. This year meaning 2023. Among the locations they hope to open new stores in are Brighton, Crawley, and Horsham. In its latest document, Lidl has said they want to have a total of 1,100 stores across Great Britain, which has led to the German discount retailer seeking hundreds of new store sites across the UK. When choosing sites, Lidl has said it's seeking prominent locations with easy access, as well as strong pedestrian traffic flow. Right, okay. All right. Shall we? Here we go to see whether, in fact, we can find the good old weather. We quite often can't. It seems to actually get beyond us for some reason, and we have no idea where we park it when we actually made the damn thing, and so as a consequence, our weather stays unspoken. Now it's the 26th today, and we should find some weather that's labeled the 26th. But do we? No, we do not. We do not. we is let's see. Shall we? Oh, no. I better tell you about the weather then, because it's a nice enough day. It is a nice enough day, and we. For Lewis, the high today is going to be 12 degrees centigrade, and I I have to say that it's heating up rather faster this morning than it did yesterday, because it's 8 degrees now. So we got 12 at the top, but the low was 7. So it hasn't risen a great deal. It's just that it's warmer this morning than it was yesterday. A little warmer anyway. And let's see. It's a light cloud and a gentle breeze. A light cloud and a gentle breeze. So that's 12 and 7. And likelihood is that the best sunny period is going to come at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. About 3 until 5 or 6, we're going to see some sunshine. The rest of the day, the light cloud will be prevalent, and we might see a little bit of rain, a trickle of rain, but it's not very likely. The rest of the week, and the forecasts are for it to start to heat up, is the rest of the week is Thursday it's going to rain. Right, okay, so tomorrow it's going to rain. Friday it'll hit 16, and Saturday it'll be 16 and sunny all day on Saturday. So that's the best day of the week. And so where are we now? We're 8:53. Shall we have a go at? Well, we could have a go at seeing whether we can see anything else that is of any note. What I would like to do is to try and find what I is very close to my heart, and that is trying to get us to get behind Parkinson's. It's a naughty disease. I've got it, and other famous people. Notice the way I say that, as if to say I'm famous. I don't think I am. No, certainly I am not. But a lot of famous people do have it, and it. It needs support, and I don't mean financial support. Of course, it does. It's financial support. All charities who support these things need financial support. It's silly to suggest that they wouldn't, but primarily is it's trying to beat it through awareness. Trying to beat it through awareness, because we are not aware of this particular disease. We're not. For some reason, perhaps because it's a disease that primarily strikes the older people, we don't see the highlight of it. But it's a devastating disease. Believe me, it is a devastating disease, and I am not at all happy to have it. Believe me, but I I recognise that we've got to get on and we've got to defeat these things. So let's just bear with me for a minute. Parkinson's disease. Not totally understood, not totally appreciated by the general public. There are so many other things, particularly cancer-related diseases, that top the headlines to get the attention. But Parkinson's can be devastating. It affects the brain, you see. It eats away at that little bit which controls movement. It shows those bits and pieces that are not obvious most of the time, but when they're in the spotlight, they are. I've got Parkinson's, and as my consultant says, sometimes I wouldn't know it, Keith. You walk in here with a bounce. Well, I used to, and I can't bounce anymore. Over a 10-year period, I've deteriorated. And over the last 12 months, I've deteriorated faster than I did in the first 9. But I don't want this disease to win. And I am, along with a lot of other people, determined that it won't win. Muhammad Ali, Michael J. Fox, Billy Graham, Neil Diamond, a whole host of other people, well-known and famous, all of whom fight like hell to try and get this disease understood and to do something to beat it. We haven't beaten it yet, but it's not for the want of trying. Now, what's Parkinson's, you may say? You've seen people who involuntarily shake like this. You can't see me. You can't see me walking at the moment, but I shuffle. As I said, the thing that really upsets me is I'm shuffling like an old man. And one good friend and kindly looked me in the eye and said, "You are an old man." And so that manifests both being old, but also it is showing that Parkinson's is slowly getting the better of me. But it's not really getting the better of me. It's just that my body is degenerating. And by the time that I'm actually 120, I'll be gone. No, I jest. And I jest because the only thing that I can do is to jest. Is to make fun of this damn disease. So it doesn't get the better of me. To laugh at it. To say, go away. Get stuff. Go and bother somebody else. Leave me alone. And it's that positive attitude that actually does help temper it. It doesn't stop it. And there are researchers all over the globe trying hard to find some cure, some remedy to try and make this dreadful disease a little bit more palatable and eventually to go away. They haven't reached it yet. Now, I was watching a little commercial for Research Action Cancer, I think it is, who are very prominent on the high street, on television, in the papers, and they make an appeal for cash. This isn't really an appeal for cash. I'm not going to ask you to get £3 for a puppy, or £3 for a llama, or £3 for some poor child in Africa with a disease that on the surface looks 10 times worse than Parkinson's. Not a bit of it. I just want to help other people like Jeremy Paxman, who's also a sufferer and has started a unique and interesting vlog or blog or whatever you call them to try and bring sufferers together. I simply just want to help make it evident that Parkinson's exists and needs fighting the same as anything else. If you feel like putting your hand in your pocket and sending a few bob to Parkinson's, it's called Parkinson's UK, please do so. But I'm not twisting your arm. I would just like you to be able to recognize when you see somebody like this, to say, Parkinson's. I remember now, that deaf bugger Hayes was on about it. Because it's awareness that will help, not the pennies that you either will or will not give out of your purse. It's an awareness. And to give those of us who suffer a bit of backup when we're trying to be as positive as we are. Or we're trying to fight it in our own particular way. You know, people can be very unkind, you know. Another friend said, Keith, I will not go to the pub with you. Well, the moment you get inside that pub, you start to stagger. And you haven't had a drink. It's very embarrassing indeed. I suppose it is. But I pointed out to him and I said, look, here I am, just to help you, staggering around, pretending to be drunk. Well, there are a whole host of group of people in here staggering because they are drunk and pretending not to be. Now, which do you want? Come on, put your hand in your pocket and buy that pint. Yes, it has its downside. It can embarrass people. Doesn't bother me. Whoever suffers from any disease doesn't bother me. And to be quite honest with you, I'm very lucky because to most of my friends it doesn't really bother. They make light of it and they joke about it the way that I do. And I do joke about it. Get lost. Stop it. Stop bothering me. I'm a busy man. I'm a very important man. I'm a VIP. Oh, that's as daft as me having Parkinson's. But it is one of those things that really will benefit far more than sending cash, than an awareness. So when you're watching me, and they call me Mr. Keith, become aware of Parkinson's. Become aware of the devastation it can cause to many people who, when it hits them, are so upset, so worried by it, is they can't actually find the strength or the courage initially to tell it to bugger off. I told it that from the very start, and I'm glad I did. And yes, I've had my falling down periods. And there's nothing worse than falling down because you're suddenly out of control and you can't stop it. The only thing is that I have learned over the years how to fall without hurting myself. Mostly, anyway. You pick up little tips like that. I'm not going to keep you for much longer. This is to say, stand firm with us. Stand firm with those of us who have got Parkinson's. Because it's the awareness. It's the fact that we can be tough enough to tell it to stop bothering us. And that's what will eventually find a cure. Yes, the pennies are important. If you have got a penny, turf it in. If you haven't, don't worry. Just get together with us and tell people, tell the disease, enough is enough. Go back to where you came from. And don't let things get on top of us. So that's my message for this week. It's a little message, isn't it? But there are tons and tons of people out there like me who got parkies. Some, it bothers beyond compare. Others, If he's going to get me, he's going to have to come and get me. I'm not walking into it. I'm not giving into it. And I'd ask you to support me in that way. Should I have another little burst on a Sunday? Last time it was at breakfast time. It's been a rotten day today outside. So it's late afternoon on a Sunday before I go. And I still get up 5:30 tomorrow morning. I should be up and back, making sure that this television station goes on air at approximately the right time. I say approximately because sometimes we're a couple of minutes late. That's dreadful in the television industry to do that. But that's my concession. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for giving me your support. And if you see me in the pub, just because I appear to be shaking, don't think that I won over the 8. I probably only had 1, so I got capacity for another 7. It's your shout. Toodle, toodle, pip. That's it for the first half hour. Trying to find where we are. There we go. I'm back. It is now 9:07. The temperature is 8 degrees centigrade. It's cloudy. We'll be back at approximately 9:30 with Stuart, Dolby, and Energy Matters. We may also see throughout the morning crime expert Richard Barton, and with some comments on and stories from the world of crime. Okay, until then, the toodle pip, toodle pip indeed. Okay, ta-ra, ta-ra. Right, I'm stayed on because we've had somebody, Roger Miller, who's said, "What's really happening in Sudan right now? Please, can you explain?" Roger, I'm sorry, we only just noticed or got your little word. What we'll perhaps try to do as we go through the morning is give some sort of little explanation of what's going on. Thank you for the inquiry. I'm sorry we got a bit too late just to hit it in this hour. All right. Until 9:30, it is Keith Hayes, and it's toodle pip. Ta-ra.